All right. Loneliness. What can we say about loneliness that we haven't said before? Loneliness sucks. Loneliness is one of the worst feelings that there is. When you feel lost, like there's no one there for you. I mean, you're probably wrong, first of all. And if you're right, it's even harder, obviously. But loneliness is a feeling of emptiness. It's a feeling of abandonment. It's a feeling that you're in this world alone and you're frustrated, you're confused, you don't know how to face the great reality that's put in front of you. And when you are suffering from other conditions like depression or a physical, mental ailment, loneliness really can blow your mind and really can bring you down to a level you might not have ever thought you'd be at. You're sitting at a level one day and the next minute it's all taken away and you feel this really sucks. Or you may be somebody that's experienced loneliness and depression your whole life and you really don't know how to cope with it. Well, for some people, and this hasn't been me for my life, but for many people it involves depression and a medical condition of loneliness, which I haven't really been able to speak on to until recently when I started experiencing seizures and then being prescribed medications. And these medications are the same kind of medications, which I've just recently talked about in previous videos, that are also prescribed for people with bipolar disorder or people with borderline personality disorder and people with just different conditions that somehow ask the doctor and he doesn't know how, but why do these medications work? And the doctors say, we don't know why they work, they just stop seizures. Well, the side effects of many of these medications that I'm on are also known to create seizures. I've tried a multitude of medications before I found a cocktail that's worked. And through multi-therapy, that's not exactly the best thing because of regressive seizures that I've experienced. But I'm sidetracking now. I tend to digress or to go on little bits of tangents. But loneliness. What can you do about loneliness? And I don't have all the answers, obviously, because I still suffer from loneliness and depression on a regular basis, especially since, here I was one day pretty happy and successful in a career and a life of working with craft beer, and then the next minute I can't drink anymore, and I've been uprooted, I'm not able to go out and handle anxiety like I used to. So learning to accept change has been a huge brick wall for me that I've had to slowly try to dismantle or live with through loneliness and depression. And at first, my initial reaction was looking to other people to rid me of my loneliness and depression, thinking that somebody else is the answer to unlocking my happiness and unlocking the cure for my loneliness and depression. Well, turns out I was flat wrong in that matter. You really have to love yourself first and foremost. And most people know these answers, they just don't practice these answers. You really have to care about yourself first and foremost. And how do you get there? How do you start to love yourself? Well, I think through a lot of the things that I mentioned earlier, like, starting to take care of your body, starting to get outside, move around, go on walks. If you can, go on a little jog, get your heart rate up, start focusing on things that really do make you happy. Focus on impacting other people in positive ways because that's really where you're going to feel happy. If you can help somebody else, even in the smallest way, I think that is a key to unlocking happiness and satisfaction in your own life. Even if it's just an animal, say you're not a big people person, if you like solitude, but you still feel lonely and depressed, having a dog or a cat, or taking care of something else that really appreciates your presence, that could make a huge difference for a person. And you see this all the time. um, Everybody needs a purpose in this world, and I'm no exception to this rule, and neither are you or anyone else watching. So I think that finding somebody to love is very important. I think it's a reason why we create families and we have children, and why we want to, in a sense, pass our legacy on to others, is because we want to feel valued, we want to feel treasured, and we want to feel that we make a contribution to this world, even if it's just genetically. We want to have a sense of belonging. And why are we here? Well, that's an age old question for which I can probably not give you the most accurate answer. But what I do know is self love comes from just acceptance, and it also comes from faith or belief in a higher entity, and that can be anything that you want it to be. It doesn't have to be that you're a Christian or a Muslim or that you believe in God necessarily, but a higher force, a higher power. I think people that have those feelings tend to feel better about themselves because they feel like that their reason here on earth serves as a purpose. Otherwise, what's the point? Why are we here? And it's sad to see that a lot of people in our society these days feel like they're so strongly set in atheism. I understand agnosticism because no one really knows the answer, so you're not going to pretend that you know what we don't know. No one really knows the answers. We create stories and we create explanations for why we are here, and I'm not going to get too theological or philosophical on you, but I also think that a sense of, like I mentioned earlier, a sense of belonging and a sense of purpose really is what creates identity in oneself and loving oneself. And tell yourself that you love yourself. It doesn't have to be when anyone's around. Just and doesn't have to be some sort of ego maniacal thing where you post on social media how to live your life, because I've been involved with people that are completely narcissistic, and everybody is to an extent a bit of a narcissist, but you know let yourself know in some way. Do nice things for yourself, and this doesn't mean spending money on yourself. It just means to like take a minute and appreciate all the things that you're good at, not comparing yourself to somebody else, not wishing for and wanting for something that someone else has and striving to beat someone else. I mean, those can be motivating factors to achieving a level of success, absolutely. But at the end of it all, you really have to feel like, not how am I going to be remembered? What is it going to say on my tombstone? But what can I do today? What can I do here and today? And it can only be for yourself or for one or two other people. It can be for many people. I think that those are keys to overcoming depression and loneliness. And even with people that are, let's say they're quadriplegic and they're unable to even do much, just this, if they can smile, if they can, know in their heart that they love somebody and they're grateful, feeling a sense of being of grateful towards another person or another being is probably one of the most important things in this life. And I know this might come off to some of you as very preachy or, you know, yeah, preachy, I guess is the word. But I'm saying this as much for myself as I am for anybody else. I'm working really hard to being a happier person, and it doesn't happen overnight. It comes from every single X on the calendar or every single little step in your mind that brings you closer and closer to becoming the person that you would like to be. Now, we're never going to be perfect. We're never going to become a supreme entity, but we can be the best that we are able to at the moment. And let's just try that, and let's just become happier. That's a key, because when you're happy with yourself and when you're more pleased with yourself, and when we take care of ourselves, then we can start to take care of other people. People that put other people before themselves, you know, that's not going to make us happy. We have to put ourselves first, but in a good way. We have to take care of ourselves first. When we start taking care of our body and our mind, then we can start taking care of other people. So I wish you all the best, and I hope that this helped to some degree. If you think I'm a nut job, or you think that this gave you some sort of inspiration, I'd appreciate some feedback, because it's nice to know that things that I say and do really make an impact on other people's lives. Now, if they don't, that's fine, because I have inner belief and inner strength, and I'm going to keep pushing forth. Now, I miss a lot of the life that I used to have, but it doesn't matter to me that that's gone as much anymore. It hurts when I think about it, but dwelling on negativity and you have to grab that thought where you start to drift and start thinking about negative thoughts, and bring it back to something that is positive and something that you can control. And yes, I have a yellow tongue. That's from drinking turmeric water. And I wish you all the best. And hopefully I'll have some more posts. I feel good about today, but I think this is going to be it for the day. Thank you very much. Peace. Yellow thumb too, see that?